your table, you can share a few accommodations. This is just sort of a quick check.
Highlighter for writing. I have one especially. Extra time if needed, less problems if they're struggling.
Working at their level, if they need a different level, maybe some more one-on-one, speaking clearly, more time to complete assignments, and brain breaks for kids who might just need that to get away for a moment.
So who can benefit from these accommodations? Of course, English language learners, our students with IEPs, 504s, students with attention deficit disorder, perhaps, auditory processing disorder, but really reminding ourselves that with universal design learning, everyone can benefit. All right, so of course this is Bart Simpson, and it says refrain from summoning Principal Skinner. So think about those students, because like in the video it talked a lot about more overt ways of seeing, you might have a student with a IEP and those accommodations are already in place. But for many of us, we're all primary teachers, kindergarten, and often students don't come with IEPs, or perhaps they're exhibiting behaviors that are communicating something to us, and we are needing to kind of look beyond just that unwanted behavior and find out if there are barriers to this child's learning. So anyway, just have a conversation about that student. I know it's probably all on the tip of our tongue. Of a moment where you're, I know, Destiny, you've got a student.
Well, when you're busy trying to stop someone, it's really hard to listen. So, and
Sure.
for the one being stopped as well.
Right. So we have, and I've gotten so many great strategies from you. I've already got my, Nicholas is making great choices here, preferential seating. But really thinking about it, especially as like a job embedded professional development, is that we have TOSAs here and mentors as well as grade level. So how can we get support from our teammates and such? So in these moments, really kind of thinking about it both formally and informally, that we get supports from each other and work together. All right, so anyone know? I'm a big SNL fan, and if you remember this, it's coffee talk. So before we get all verklempt, I'd like you to talk amongst yourselves about any successes or perhaps failures that you can think of when you've tried different accommodations. I know that I personally feel that there's times where it works for 1 week and I'm like, oh, this is amazing, and then a week later the treasure box is not that interesting anymore, and like, how do you keep the novelty fresh,
Well, when I moved into the back of my classroom, he destroyed the back of my classroom, so that didn't work. But now he has an island, and that's working, so.
Yeah.
The islands seem to be the best solution. When I had my little striker, he needed the islands, and
Yeah.
that really helped him. I think they just need to
Have his own space.
They need their own space, some of these kids, and they just can't. It's too much to like have someone this close. They need someone several feet away, not 6 inches. So
They need 6 feet.
yeah, I think islands are always good.
And sometimes even making sure that it's not a punitive thing, that it becomes, you're over here because, I originally had a chair. It was a special chair that Nicholas could sit in, and then he ended up ruining that chair. It's like, oh shoot, I wanted it to be something special for him, and so that was a little bit of a failure on that, level, but we'll find another way, hopefully. All right, so we talked a lot about this. Certainly a quick and easy one is seating arrangements. And both on the carpet as well as in our desks, certainly in kindergarten, we have carpet time and that can be its own challenge. A lot of you I'd seen on your whiteboards already came up with a lot of these strategies. So repeating or rephrasing important information, certainly with our ELL population. This one I really, as a new teacher, getting the students' attention before starting to speak, that was something I needed to make sure I had. So what I've done is I've taken these concepts, and there's a lot here. This is a whole nother PD probably, but I've taken it and I've put it onto what we are already doing well and what we've already been trained in. So of course our thinking maps, these are our graphic organizers, these are accommodations. So, so this accommodation would fit into the what. So it's highlighting patterns, critical ideas or relationships, certainly thinking maps for that. Another strategy that we all have had our training in is Kagan. So of course, can you guess which one this is? For engagement. So this is the why, so fostering relationships and collaboration. So that is a component of universal design. And then the last one, using assisted technologies and accommodations and breaking them down into no tech. So this could be our Post-it notes, kind of that check-in, check-out. To me, that was really helpful because I think a lot of times when I think about like the accommodation toolbox, it's like, okay, there's so many things I could possibly use. And just anchoring it to those three principles helps me find some merit in what I was already doing. So I guess this is to conclude, just to reflect on what sort of the path that we are going to be taking with accommodation. And really kind of overlaying that onto the curriculum and our demands that we have on what we are supposed to be teaching and standards. Because so much of that feels so linear to us that it's hard to pull out when you have a student who needs more access to learning when you're on this trajectory. But just kind of remembering that our, as humans, how we survive is by adapting. And so I kind of beg to you as teachers to adapt for the kids because it's giving good design and good access to all learners. So sort of leave with this last quote to reflect on and feel free to have some conversations about this. It says, if a child can't learn the way we teach, maybe we should teach the way they learn. Anyone have any thoughts they'd like to share?
I have a poster in my room I use a lot. It says, fair isn't fair for everyone. Let me think. Do you have it too?
This one.
Fair isn't everyone getting the same thing,
Yeah.
it's everything
Yeah.
getting what they need.
And
I
I
use
do
that
this.
all the time, and I talk about the very first week, how many people wear glasses?
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody need glasses? No. Is that fair for them? Yes, because they need it. So we're pointing out similarities and differences already at the very beginning, saying, sometimes this child needs extra help with this, or sometimes, Johnny needs to come sit up front, and so.
Why does she get to go with Mrs.
Yeah.
Cook?
And everybody needs an accommodation for something,
Absolutely.
right? So.
I like the glasses idea. I never really thought about that because like I have glasses and it's like I can't see, but then I don't have the advantage over anybody. It's just that is just something that I need, or I would even look at it like braces and I mean just things like that. But in that respect of so yeah, that was
It's humbling
that was a good picture.
Good.
I like that too, because I wear glasses.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
No, me either. Me either at all.
I go, yeah, I can't see anything without.
Right.
Totally. I just
Yeah.
think of it more as a
Everybody needs
nuisance.
them
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my,
Right.
something in my contacts all the time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I never used to wear glasses, and now I need them every day.
the challenge is that, so taking that concept of need, how reliant you are on those glasses and thinking about it for those less visible
Right.
needs. And it's hard to do. It's hard to parse out and find what is a need, and especially for the young kids that we have. And we don't have a history of teachers and IEPs all like laid out for us. Although that seems daunting too, because then you get everything.
Right.
But certainly, you know, seeing it for what they need is, and not necessarily an unwanted behavior. I think that's a challenge that will continue.
Yeah.